Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Mosura versus RaGman. This game taking place here on Echo Isle. Over here on the top right hand side of the map we have Mosura spawning as the teal undead. Meanwhile over here on the top left RaGman spawning as the purple orc. Orc versus undead in this 1v1 matchup. There are a lot of observers in this game, but I don't know quite what tournament this was from. It was not properly labeled, and well, I cannot. I don't understand the chat, so that is also another thing what I can't do to try and figure out what is going on here. Thanks for the kind words, everyone. One of the best casters I've seen in 12 to 15 years. I've actually been casting for about 11 years. So if you haven't come across me, well, welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you are enjoying it as we're going into this game now. Altar of Darkness quickly going to be training up a Death Knight in this matchup, going up against a Farseer. Farseer has become, well, a much more popular hero as of late. Spirit wolves, and the balancing on those spirit wolves and more things, and I really like seeing games getting away from that Blade Master. I am excited to see whether or not the lower mana costs on Mirror Image, whether or not that opens up some more Blade Master play. Mirror Image and use of Lightning Shield would be a very effective tactic right there with Shamans. I like that style of play. It plays well with how Orc already wants to play with Tauren Chieftain, Lightning Shield. And if it does end up working out well, perhaps, well, Orc will have some new hero combinations to work on, rather than just trying to always go for Tauren Chieftain second to get a whole bunch of stomps in. Coming back around, a Death Knight out onto the field does pick up a Rod of Necromancy and is now going to start his creeping. Meanwhile, the Farseer off over here already bringing out 2 Spirit Wolves and going to be chasing Mosura the Undead. Personally, I think that purple should be the undead color. I don't know why you would choose such a happy color when you're undead. But then again, I guess undead people can still be happy. As well, I guess Sylvanas is kind of like the stereotypical reason why you cannot be happy while you're undead. Anyways, Death Knight continuing to wander around here. Force Trapper gonna get taken out. Farseer getting in a lot of harassment damage onto that Death Knight. Death Knight actually trapped into a corner. That could be a problem as he's trying to break free here. Death Knight has no easy way of healing himself, as the Farseer does get a little bit of experience taking down a skeletal minion. Not personally, everyone agrees. All right, making their way back down. Farseer and Death Knight still going a little bit of chase here. Now, we are taking the tier 2 on both sides. Buildings are rather sparse, and we have yet to see a Voodoo Lounge coming in from RaGman. This does come as a little bit of a shock to me. Normally, you would be seeing a Voodoo Lounge already being constructed, especially if you have an intelligence-based hero in play. The intelligence-based heroes normally end up taking a lot of damage early on. And well, and if you're going for a harassment strategy, you want to allow your Farseer to get healed up quickly and then join back in on that fight. Headhunters now, well, continuing to pull back once more. There goes the Death Knight. More Headhunters joining in, and now we're looking at a 27 supply army going against Mosura's 20, and he is just now getting up that second Ziggurat and getting out those Crypt Fiends. All right, as Crypt Fiends are joining in onto the battlefield here, we're looking at RaGman trying to steal a little bit of his opponent's easy creep camps. Both sides sitting at level 1 as the Death Knight now tries to slip back away. Death Knight already down to 282 hit points. The Headhunters are pelting down those units here as a low hit point Headhunter trying to retreat back. Where is this Headhunter gonna go? Down to 166 hit points. It doesn't look like he'll be able to retreat back here. Gonna go ahead and hide behind the Ogre Magi, knowing that if he needs to, double backs around and may actually end up finding himself behind the Farseer, which would actually be a great location for him. Farseer now chasing after more units. Death Knight still taking a lot of damage, just accidentally running into Headhunters all across the map. This Headhunter down to 43 hit points has to be very careful and does want to double back home. Skeletal minions should not be able to give chase forever, as that time life should be coming to an end in just a moment. Headhunters and Farseer are heading back. There's that Voodoo Lounge that I was expecting. it is going to be timed in such a way that as soon as that Farseer gets there, it will be able to heal up a good number of units. Farseer double backing around, perhaps going to go after the Ogre Warriors and all of these units, perhaps getting up to level 2 momentarily. Meanwhile, the Death Knight forced to stay on Blight a little bit longer and heal up. All right, a lot of damage coming through the Spirit Wolves in that front line location, absorbing a good amount of damage. Are we going to see the Ogre Magi just absolutely pelted to death? Are we going to see the Death Coil try and steal it? He does not. Death Knight does show up to the party, but with no army to really back him up, unable to put pressure onto all of these Headhunters. Crypt Fiends are finally here. Death Coil does allow the Death Knight to get to level 2, and with Unholy Aura now, should be able to move in and out of combat much more easily. Farseer down to 133 hit points, using that potion of healing just in case the Death Knight tried to land down a Death Coil a little bit earlier. Headhunters now looking to retreat back. We're looking at 26 to 31 damage compared to 23 to 37. Farseer, are we looking at the low hit point Headhunter in the back, and the Tauren Chieftain is already out onto the field? Are we going to be looking at Endurance Aura? A couple of skeletal minions are currently out onto the field. Is that skeletal minion going to be able to finish off those Headhunters? No, they are not. They are going to be able to get back up to full hit points. Death Knight, Lich now working together. Level 2, level 1 going up against level 2, level 1. Mosura once again supply blocked, not having that Ziggurat in time. So a little bit of mistakes right here as the Lich and the Death Knight now going to be wandering in off to the side. Are we going to see a Frost Nova? Yes, right into the middle, slowing and separating that army. Tauren Chieftain does have Stomp first. Is he going to try to get a Stomp off onto any of these units as the Headhunters are trying to make their way back? Spirit Wolves are in position. Once we get to level 3, the Farseer can actually place down Spirit Wolves to put pressure onto some of those Crypt Fiends in the back as the Headhunters are trying to, dodge all of that damage. 375 hit points melted in an instant. Death Coil, Frost Nova, and Crypt Fiend Focus Fire as the Spirit Wolves try to turn back around again. Death Knight still sitting at level 2. Lich out of mana right now, unable to cast Frost Nova as those units are retreating back once more. We are going into Raiders next with a Bestiary and Ensnare getting researched. One Raider already out onto the field. That Raider wants to ensnare some of those Crypt Fiends to prevent any sort of retreats. More Headhunters going to be added in as we are teching to tier 3. Raider now going to go ahead to the bottom right-hand side of the map here, perhaps clear out this Ogre Magi creep camp. Tauren Chieftain and Farseer will both stay at level 1 after clearing of this creep camp, as the Ogre Magi falls, giving a circlet of nobility to the Tauren Chieftain. Meanwhile, back off to the north here, Death Knight. Death Knight coming back across, going to go ahead and clear up the remainder of these Murlocs. It looks as though no one is going to be able to level up these units. Echo Isle is normally not a map where you can get to level 5 on your heroes unless you are trying to do a little bit of solo creeping while teching the tier 2 and tier 3. Tauren Chieftain trying to line up a decent sized stomp, and the creep jack coming in from RaGman actually working out well. Frost Nova, however, onto the Headhunter as well. 1-2 punch dealing so much damage. All right, Crypt Fiend gonna get ensnared. Tauren Chieftain trying to hide in the back. There's a stomp, but it was actually a little bit late as it looks as though the Crypt Fiend does end up getting taken down. Tauren Chieftain now going after the Death Knight. Tauren Chieftain is going to be forced to back up there, down to 130 hit points. Is it going to be able to Healing Salve? It does Healing Salve, but it is unable to hold on to it as it takes a little bit more damage. Death Knight in the back here with a couple of Obsidian statues, able to provide more healing again as the Death Coil saves the Crypt Fiend or prolongs his death a little bit longer as... prolongs his death. Am I going to live? No, you're going to die, and you're just going to take more damage. All right, Death Knight looking to back up again as the Headhunters, Raiders, and Tauren Chieftain now need to back up. Not getting up to level 2 is preventing the Tauren Chieftain's quick retreat with Endurance Aura as the Farseer is now out of consumable items. Tech to tier 3 not yet done, and we'll see if we get, any additional items from that shop. Raiders do not have the backpack upgrade, so no quick deliveries available. Tauren Chieftain does get to level 2, going to pick up a couple of items here. Wand of Lightning Shield, a good item to have. If he's able to give it to the Farseer, then the Tauren Chieftain can have a Wand of Lightning Shield cast on him. Stomp plus Lightning Shield is a lot of damage to those Crypt Fiends if they are clumped together. Coming back around, Farseer is at 3. Kodo Beast is out onto the field. Level 2 Spirit Wolves with those critical strikes going to be effective against those Crypt Fiends again. 39 supply compared to 50. as we transition into the, well, later in the mid game here. War Song Battle Drums and, well, Kodo Beast increased damage across the board. I am surprised. RaGman is actually taking a little bit of a risk here and creeping out without retreating back home. There is a Ring of Protection +3. That's going to go ahead and get picked up here in once more as the units head off to the north. Are we going to perhaps be looking at healing salves be used? Yes, we are. There's a bunch of healing salves right there. Kodo Beast now making their way down. Headhunters also making a transition over, and in comes some of that damage here. All right, Tauren Chieftain making its way over. Death Coil onto that Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain did not use a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Does have a another Circlet of Nobility, so does have decent stats. Kodo Beast trying to back away. Does this Kodo Beast, is it going to stay alive? No. Death Coil Frost Nova quickly takes that down as the piercing damage on the Crypt Fiends eats away at the Kodo Beast from range. Both sides, once again, sitting at 50 supply armies. Armies are pretty much neck and neck at this point. Level 3 going up against a level 3, level 2, level 1. Dark Ranger added in for good measure as the Tauren Chieftain needs to heal back up. Did Crota acknowledge that or already, or missed it? I don't know. Crota casting my game. Well, hi Mosura. I am casting your game, so no spoilers, please. All right, let's make our way back over here. Gargantuan Sea Turtle going to get cleared up once more. The army of the undead, Mosura, going to be putting in quite a bit of pressure. If he can find his opponent, a skeletal minion will scout this out, but I believe the Gargantuan Sea Turtle creep camp will already be cleared. On top of this, RaGman already has headhunters in, and berserkers in place, so they are not going to be melting nearly as quickly unless they are in that berserker form. Tauren Chieftain in the very far back, that's not where you want him, and Mosura actually catching his opponent in a strange spot. A scroll of speed on the Tauren Chieftain, but he's in the far back. He's going to finally try to get lined up here, and that Tauren Chieftain looks like he was trying to place down a stomp and unable to do so. Mosura fighting in these narrow choke points with a bunch of ranged units, actually very beneficial to him, as well any unit caught in between could get stuck. All right, the Headhunter is also doing a little bit of damage from that range side as well, as the Tauren Chieftain about to get to level 4, getting in a little bit of level 2 endurance or for even faster attack speed. As the units are trying to retreat, the Kodo Beasts do not have anything in their belly, and they are being actually left behind here. There's a Frost Nova Death Coil, more piercing damage. Down goes one Kodo Beast already. There goes an Ensnare. Tauren Chieftain going to come in with the Stomp. There it goes. Squashes that Crypt Fiend, and while Chain Lightning follows up for more damage again. All right, level 4 now on that Tauren Chieftain. Mosura, well, being forced to retreat back. RaGman, and now with the one with the favorable position, as the Tauren Chieftain going to throw down another Stomp, stunning down, well, another 4 units. Crypt Fiend could be in trouble. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on the Lich. Lich should get a Death Coil. No, Dark Ranger needs a Death Coil. No, well, a lot of things need the Death Coil, as that Dark Ranger somehow able to dodge in the very far back. How is he able to stay alive? No Death Coil. What is going on right there? Dark Ranger finally gets taken out. It seemed like it was forever and a day for that Scroll of Town Portal to finally take that unit back home. A little bit of a dance right there. Mosura, if he was a second earlier on the Scroll of Town Portal, would have been able to save the Dark Ranger. Those obsidian statues were keeping that Dark Ranger alive, and I was waiting for a Death Coil from the Death Knight. Perhaps it was on cooldown, but unable to save it. Nicely done right there. And Golo coming back down to the south here, double obsidian statues, Lich, Death Knight, level 3, level 3, level 2, going up against level 4, and now a level 1 Shadow Hunter joining in on the fight. No sides have set up any expansions as of yet. Mosura breaking into low upkeep, perhaps on accident. No reason to stay at 51 supply. Actually makes more sense to kill your own Acolyte, as you go from mining 10 gold a second to, or 7 gold a second, to going to 8 gold a second if you just kill that Acolyte right then and there. Lich now making its way over, going to try and clear out this Gargantuan Sea Turtle creep camp. Perhaps decent items will be dropped once more. Upgrades could be key, as well as abominations joining in on the fight. I don't believe the Death Knight or the Lich will be able to level up. Dark Ranger joining back in on this battle as well. as the Lich, if it does, well, no, Lich is not going to be leveling up here either, and there's not many more creep camps left to try and clear. Undead about to make its way across the map here, a skeletal minion getting sighted right in the middle portion of the map, gonna see the orc army here, and now he knows exactly where his opponent is. He knows where his opponent is and the timing and what can really be done. Ring of Protection +4 is the item. All right, Ring of Protection +4 was the item from that creep camp there. So a little bit of a bonus armor on that Death Knight. Death Knight having what, 8 times 6, what, 48% more effective hit points, and with a good regeneration, that Death Knight should be difficult to kill. Spirit Wolves, trying to dance back around here. Tauren Chieftain also with a fair amount of armor as well, as they are trying to line each other up. 61 supply compared to 55. Who's going to win out here? Mosura looking to back away. Obsidian statues have plenty of mana. Are they going to turn into destroyers? That is also the question, but there are simply too many berserkers perhaps to have destroyers be that effective. Effective hit points. Yes, effective hit points. I went to look back at my Warcraft 3 armor video explaining how armor in Warcraft 3 works, and I noticed that it only has like 5,000, 6,000 views. So and so when people start talking to me about armor, I'm just like, watch my video first. Watch my video first. And they're like, oh, that's what you mean by effective hit points, and that makes sense. There's so much information there. Yeah. A caster with a spreadsheet trying to explain numbers and how armor works, and presenting it in a way that people can understand. Shadowhunter gonna be able to get to level 2, has an Orb of Lightning as well. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 4, and we're looking at, well, the army is just trying to just circle around each other here. Gold mines should be, still have 5 minutes of mining left coming in from both sides, but we are looking at a very, very big push indeed. All right, what's going to happen? Silence straight up onto that Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain going to be in a little bit of trouble. Abominations spreading out all of that disease. Then the Tauren Chieftain finally going to be able to lay down a stomp right there. Shadowhunter is already fallen. Tauren Chieftain has plenty of time to throw down a stomp. Not quite sure why he isn't doing that. Finally places it down as the Kodo Beast is going to start eating up some meals. All right, the Abomination. Tauren Chieftain in trouble, down to 70 hit points, and ends up staying alive, as we should be looking at a Death Coil onto that Lich right there. Lich does end up getting a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, as we're going to see a Frost Nova go down onto that Kodo Beast there. Tauren Chieftain, is it going to end up getting taken down? A lot of damage coming back across. Death Coil onto that Lich, keeps him alive. Silence onto the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain going to try to make its way back over. There is a Stomp. However, Potion of Healing was used in time right there. Death Knight could get a Death Coil off onto that Lich, or no, the Tauren Chieftain in just a moment. There it goes, down to 10 hit points, and it is still alive right now, hanging around in the back. Headhunters are continuing to fight, burrowing on those Crypt Fiends. Tauren Chieftain sitting at 18 hit points. Chain Lightning bouncing around. Lich could just get an auto attack onto that Tauren Chieftain, but he levels up in time, down to 33 hit points, and he ends up staying alive still. More damage coming back across. Dark Ranger falls at level 2. Death Knight still sitting at level 4. What is going on in this battle? This is just completely melting into a crazy situation as the Tauren Chieftain gets in a stomp. Is the Lich going to be able to stay alive? Yes, he is. Is he going to turn back around? Tauren Chieftain finally gets taken down. Level 4 on that Lich, and that is the GG. The final 15-20 seconds of that game was just absolutely monstrous. I don't know how that happened. That Tauren Chieftain backed off. Mosura not going after the Tauren Chieftain when it was at 10 hit points. When he finally notices it, attacks it, Tauren Chieftain levels up, gains extra hit points, and then starts taking damage with the Disease Cloud. Tauren Chieftain was able to get off another stomp momentarily, and it seemed like both players lost control of their units in the final moments, but it made for a very, very entertaining match. Winning with a lesser score, losing in all 3 categories, but winning the final battle. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.